Hello and good afternoon, my game watchers. This is Gamer Mama here. And if you're just tuning in, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Today is going to be the last day of this last case of Jhon Marley. Yesterday it glitched out on me really badly. So we're gonna play from the beginning, and today we're gonna completely play this game through, glitch and all. So we're gonna start from the beginning. And we are going to go work through this because um, this game has a lot of glitches, and unfortunately, it has been working for everyone. So let's hope it works through us this time. Time buries all truths beneath shadows, but the past always has a way of clawing its way back to the surface, demanding to be heard. Now, of course, when we first get into the game, we're in Jhon Marley's dream. And Jhon Marley is a detective. So
Where am I?
we have to look around
I know it's following me. I can feel it.
for certain clues. Now, I do remember in the beginning, we have to find these little lights. These things, the lanterns. There's a lantern path. Should be one up here. Yep, there's the next one.
I shouldn't have taken such a risk.
There should be another one. Yep. There it is. It's kind of like his conscious talking to him in his dreams. There's the next one. Sound of water.
It's coming from the river.
There's the next light. And it's really dark up here. There's the river. There we go. And there's the lighted bridge. There's another light coming.
If it catches me, it will show no mercy.
Not up over the hill.
I know it's hidden somewhere in this forest.
Now, I played most of this game through, and then it got really badly glitchy and I couldn't finish,
I
so
should
we're
be
just
able to see
starting
its
over.
light soon.
There it is, the stairs. I think this is kind of pretty though. Here in the forest. There's the cabin. What you think is safe?
At last, I can gather my strength and plan how to face that monstrous thing.
Jump scare. And of course, you end up in the hospital. And of course, the last day in the hospital, personally of the morning sun, Sir John's face melts asleep. For months, strange nightmares had plagued him, and even the strongest sedatives couldn't dull the weird visions thus haunted his mind. Another day in the wretched hospital, his wound still ached, but he felt no regret. Despite the accident, he brought the culprit of these ghastly crimes to justice. After all, he isn't the duty of any good private detective. So we're gonna
My
wake up in the
name is
hospital here,
Jhon
everyone.
Marley, private detective, and today is a momentous day. After enduring the most exquisite tortures at the hands of those blasted nurses, and being pumped full of enough medicine to fell an ox, today I'm finally free. Who would have thought that the case of the Red Shoes murder would end the way it did? A stormy night, soaked to the skin, wrestling that brainless killer on a rooftop.
Here comes the nurse.
It appears you're awake at last. We had considerable difficulty rousing you earlier this morning, so I deemed it best to let you rest a while longer. I bring you good news. The latest test results are favourable, and the doctor has authorised your discharge. You are now officially ready to go. I have placed your belongings on the table. Oh, and a lady stopped by this morning with some clothes from the dry cleaner.
Results
So
and
I'm better
discharge.
now.
Yes, you are much improved. Both your physical and psychological assessments have been satisfactory, and there are no impediments to your returning to your normal life.
How wonderful. And you said my
My
belongings are
belongings.
where?
I thought everything was already in the room.
There are a few valuables and some coins we kept for safekeeping. They are in the box on the table.
And you mentioned clothes
A
from
woman
a
brought
woman.
my clothes from the dry cleaner. Was it Penny?
I couldn't say. She arrived quite early, before my shift began. I've placed the garments in the wardrobe to keep them from getting wrinkled.
And what about my nightmares?
I've been having nightmares.
The doctor has prescribed some medication that should help address any residual effects. This should assist in alleviating your nightmares.
Me and my
Now,
PTSD.
if you'll excuse me, I have other patients to attend to. I wish you all the best.
Lovely. Let me look over here. My patient number 5567, room 27, date February 3rd, 1945. Discharge resolution report. Dr. A. Foreigner. Final review and conclusion. The patient has demonstrated satisfactory improvement in all preoperative objectives. Surgical procedure conducted under protocol ETD-03 has been deemed successful in all respects. Yay. Upon completion of final assessment, provided that the patient reports feeling physically and mentally prepared, medical discharge is advised. No post-operative complications are anticipated. At this time, continued observation during recovery is recommended to ensure patient stability.
Story of my life.
Grab
That's
my
me.
card.
The bloodhound, Morley.
Nothing else on it.
I better get dressed.
Let's grab
The
my
hospital
clothes.
gown that ties in the back, doesn't it? These do a fine job of hiding any belly. I usually use the Windsor knot. Looks brand new. Well-structured shoulders. Nicely.
Penny, of
So
course.
the mystery woman who took my clothes to the cleaners. I should get myself a pair of derbies. Or brogues. They're much more comfortable. There's notes from Penny.
Of
my
course.
secretary.
Penny leaves me a
She
note.
must have left it here a few days ago while I was still under observation.
I'm awfully sorry, but I just can't keep going like this. You've been laid up in the hospital for ages. And I've been left skinked with no wages coming in for months now. Sorry. Before the state you were in, I couldn't bring myself to say anything. I thought the best left you to better in peace. But the day Dr. phoned a ring and said they were finally going to be let out, so I figured it was time to tell you I haven't been able to the office in a month. Didn't expect you to be. Believe me, it was Miss Hawthorne Street at that old mumbly brick building of ours, but I've got to move on. You know, even better than the accident, you still owed me 3 months' pay. Peter and I are planning to get married. I need some stability. I hope you understand I left the keys under the doormat. I paid the water and electric bills so that they are in hands now. Goodbye, John. Wish you all the luck in the world. P.S. Days ago, another woman came in to see me.
I don't blame her, though. I'm a right mess.
Let's
I've
grab
managed
my
to lose the only two. Blimey, it's nearly noon.
watch,
Trench
coat,
and fedora hat. Every detective's must
and out
have.
the door.
I better hurry up. Just like Penny says in her note, I might have a new client this afternoon. And with the way things are going, I can't afford to let that slip away.
Goodbye, Miss Nurse.
All right, let's get moving. Today's the first day of the rest of my life.
Alrighty. Now here at the office. At the last back to the streets, New Cold, Frankfurt's and foggy old London. Chimneys filled the air with a familiar tang of coal dust, while the rhythmic hum of the small industries in Whitechapel symphony and Southwark range in his ears like a symphony. Oh, more like Soon he'd be sitting in the cluttered, dusty office once more, ready for the next case, perhaps finishing off some forgotten bottle of whiskey tucked away in a drawer, mourning the incredible loss of Assistant Penny. Miss Penny, of course. Here we are at the office.
Back again. Feels like stepping into a forgotten paradise.
Nothing seems here. Let's go ahead up to the office.
Everything's got that same old charm, and yet feels oddly new. This hospital stint's given me a bit of a new outlook. Maybe I'll take it a shade easier from now on, sticking to cases that don't demand a trip to the morgue.
Can't go upstairs. Ah, yes. Penny's keys are under the
Here they are.
mat.
Penny's keys. Just like it says in her note.
Go ahead and walk in. Ah, the nostalgics of the old office, of course.
The umbrella with a bullet hole. Souvenir from the marksman case.
My trusty old kit.
This case is worth its weight in gold. Everything you need for a portable lab.
Okay, files.
Even the coppers missed it. The slant on the letter E. That's what gave away the typist in the black letters case.
Ah, Penny's desk, of course.
Penny's desk. I ought to give her a ring. Try to sweet talk her into coming back. So
And
this is Peter. That smug grin's got "Punch Me" written all over it.
of course.
The murder weapon from the cadaver collector case. Nasty business, that one.
And of course, the main Wisconsin. The case that put me in the
Case
hospital.
of the Red Shoes murder. One of the most complicated I've faced. Finally. Case closed.
Ah, my desk.
My desk. Strangely tidy. Normally it's buried under papers, notes, bits of evidence. Penny must have wanted to leave everything spick and span before she walked out on me. Another one of my cards. But this one has my last name circled.
No case file. Some more stuff.
Amazing how this little... The drawer. It's locked.
Oh, yes.
There doesn't seem to be a keyhole.
Why would it be a keyhole? When you got a detective like me. Ah, yes.
The Scarlet Page. I trust Penny didn't go snooping through my things while I was away.
My special lock desk, of course.
Oh, my apologies, madam. I didn't hear you come in. I was a bit distracted.
Good afternoon, Mr. Morley. I trust your assistant informed you of my visit as promised.
My apologies. I was rather engrossed and didn't notice your arrival. To whom do I owe the honour of this meeting?
Lady Margaret Fordside, the 4th Countess of Bloomsbury.
Lady Margaret, could you tell me what brings you here today? How can I assist you?
I shall endeavour to be as candid as possible. 20 years ago, when my daughter was just 18, she was brutally murdered. It happened at our family estate, Bloomsbury Manor. Someone slipped into the house unnoticed, and upon reaching her room, delivered 5 fatal stab wounds to her chest, lungs, and heart. The police, eager to close the case, hastily blamed and condemned 2 violent thieves who clearly had nothing to do with her death. The investigation was closed, and justice was never served. I am prepared to offer you £30,000 if you take on this case, and a further £30,000 if you can solve it and bring the true killer to light. Tell me, Mr. Morley, will you accept this case?
I understand your distress, Lady Fordside. But before I commit to anything, might I trouble you with a few questions?
By all means, Mr. Morley. Ask whatever you must.
You say something about the wrong man.
Tell me about the men the police arrested. Why are you so certain they weren't guilty?
2 days after the murder, the police arrested a pair of violent thieves who were terrorizing the county at the time. Though they swore their innocence in my daughter Elodie's death, their criminal record completely undermined their defense. Seizing the opportunity, the police locked them away for their other crimes, and the case was closed. But what has always struck me as suspicious is that nothing was stolen on the night my Elodie was killed. If those thieves were truly the culprits, why would they murder her and then leave without taking a single piece of silver? It doesn't add up, Mr. Morley.
So true. Was there any
Tell me,
witnesses?
were there any witnesses? Did anyone see or hear anything?
It happened at midnight. The house was practically empty at the time, with only a few servants and a guest who was sleeping in the west wing. I was the only one who might have heard something, as my room
They're a
was
stop
next to
away.
hers. Unfortunately, I had taken a sleeping draught and fell into a deep slumber.
Sorry, everyone.
It
I've
is
got a
a
sick
decision
kid
I shall regret
already.
for the rest of my days.
Snow's just started, and I've got one who's already down. In Blueberry Manor.
Tell me about Bloomsbury Manor. Do you still reside there?
After Elodie's death, I abandoned the estate. I couldn't bear to remain there, to live within those walls. Even now, when I visit the manor, it still feels as though I can hear her footsteps echoing through the halls, her voice humming that old melody. The delusions of an old woman who has mourned her daughter for far too long, Mr. Morley. No mother should ever have to bury her child. Should you accept the case, Blomsbury Manor would likely be the best place to begin the investigation. I shall not impede your work, as I now reside at Bedford Square, in the heart of the city.
And why now with the case?
A case
So
that's
long.
been cold for 20 years. You certainly don't make it easy for me, Lady Margaret. What made you decide to seek out a detective now?
For over 2 decades, I've fought tirelessly to have the case reopened, to prove that the real murderer escaped justice, but all in vain. Neither solicitors nor well-meaning police friends, nor even journalists hungry for a dark story, have managed to uncover anything. Then one day, I read about your success in solving the case of the Red Shoes killer. Regrettably, I also learned of the unfortunate incident that left you hospitalized with grievous injuries. On the advice of your secretary, Miss Penny, I waited patiently for your recovery. And now, here I am.
Well, I believe I have all the information I need to get started. I accept the case and will begin the investigation immediately.
I'm pleased to hear that. My butler will bring you the £30,000 tomorrow morning. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have matters to attend to. Once you uncover the culprit, contact me at once, and I shall promptly deliver the remaining £30,000. Please, Mr. Morley, unravel this harrowing mystery that has tormented me for so long.
Yes. And here we go. The visit from Carlos Margaret for side was just what Jhon needed. A case with all the right ingredients to stir his detective instincts. An unsolved murder for 20 years ago and abandoned by the police in their incompetence. And generous reward waiting at the end. What more could a man want at his first day back? The Dunenberg Manor passed without incident through the rough, neglected road raged by years of rains, winds, made by an unfortunate, formidable ride. What if that bothered any of his injuries? I mean, just because they're healed doesn't mean certain things still don't bother you. Pretty sure a lot of people heard of arthritis. He arrived in the cover of the night. The place was quiet, like the ruins of an old tomb, forgotten and forsaken. Bloomberg Manor.
As I made my way through the dense forest path, a haunting silence enveloped me. It was as though the very night of the crime still lingered here, shrouded in an eerie calm. The manor stood before me, its facade as inscrutable as the shadows that danced in the moonlight.
Hold on 1 second, everyone.
Every step I took felt like a step deeper into the heart of a mystery that refused to be forgotten.
Sorry about that, everyone. I've got a sickie here, and I'm trying to get her better before school, so I was just checking with my husband to make sure they weren't arriving, so I can grab my ID because I ordered a whole bunch of medications to get her better. This looks so scary. Kind of reminds me of our dream, doesn't it? And we're here.
Not a sound. The stillness feels heavy, like it's hiding something.
Oh, yes. The bedside table. Ow. Westline Asylum, place of hope and healing. At Westland Asylum, we believe that the path to recovery begins with compassionate understanding and most advanced techniques of mental health care. Our institution offers tranquil haven for those seeking respite from the trials of the mind. Hmm. Trials of the mind, they say. I always like looking at certain things. Walking through here. Of course, it's
The
locked.
door's chained up with a padlock. Looks like I'll need to find the key.
I write to you on behalf of the Western Society of Fine Arts regarding the exhibition currently on display at our art gallery, which features several works by your daughter, Miss Elodie Forsyth. While we finally appreciate the remarkable talent and artistry evident in her work, it was with great regret that we must inform you of a matter of concern. Some of the Society's patrons, partially among more sensitive members in our community, have found Miss Forsyth's paintings to be one of highly disturbing of nature. We have received numerous complaints, with mothers remarking that the artwork is a cause distress to their children, and some ladies reporting feelings of unease. It's art. Feeling just come through art. Then don't listen to half music. There is growing sentiment that the piece of unavailable for public exhibition, particularly in a space frequently by young and impressible minds. It is with the utmost respect and consideration that we kindly request your ladyship to arrange for the removal of Miss Forsyth's paintings from the current display. We understand that this may cause disapproval, but we feel unnecessary to preserve the domain and the sentiments of the gallery's visitors. We would be honored to work with you in finding a more appropriate venue to exhibit Forsyth's art, where a unique vision can be appreciated by more distinct and prepared audiences. We trust you will understand a bit in the delusion matter, and we look forward to hearing from your earliest convenience. With the deepest respects to faithfully Sir Arthur Wesley, Secretary of Westland.
Seems Elodie had a passion for art, but her style wasn't exactly well received. Disturbing, from the looks of it. A blue moon, fitting for a place
Blue
haunted by
moon.
its own secrets.
Saw you standing alone.
Looks like the Countess left this for me. It could be useful for getting around the place.
An unweathered suitcase. And of course, we're going to look at these things. File the green lights. I would kindly ask that once the midday service is complete, you grant me a few moments of your time in the library. John Mover, your housekeeper.
So, the housekeeper left a note for the Countess, asking her to meet here on the day of the murder. I wonder what happened during that encounter. Very well. Let's piece the events together, step by step. 2 chairs. One of them knocked over. Lipstick stains. Same shade the Countess wore when she visited
One
my
moment,
office.
please. My grab.
An empty and looks like someone arranged tea in the library that day.
Medicine. Alright, everyone. So kid
The
comes
housekeeper's
first.
cup is still here. Tea spilled across the table. It seems they met here. But something went wrong during the conversation.
I am very angry. After all these years of service, this is how you repay me? Walking away like this?
I'm sorry, madam, but the situation has become unbearable.
Yeah, that's gonna
My
numb your
bags are
throat
already packed.
and soothe the cough. Get it in your system. You're supposed to bite it. Okay. So we know they argued here. And of course, it's by the suitcase.
The Countess threw the housekeeper out in a fit of rage. In her haste, the housekeeper forgot one of her bags. What was it that unsettled the housekeeper enough to abandon her post so suddenly?
Well, let's find out what's left in here.
Lady Fortside, still seething, burned something in the fireplace.
Yeah, well, I've reached a decision throughout this weighs heavily upon my heart to sever the ties that have long bounded me in this household. Through the name of King William IV, my family has survived Bloomsbury with Jhon Marley loyalty and streetfulness marked by discretion and faithful execution of our duties. However, there are limits to all things, and of late, this house has been frequented by certain individuals whose presence is wholly at odds with the principles in which my lineage is so devoted. It is no coincidence that our family's motto is Apologesis, signifying something offered to considerated. We are vessels of an ideal to the custodians of the most deep-rooted traditions and bastions of the internal values of our nation. Thus this house forsaken all of this, and y'all shall know the reason why. Please do not concern yourselves. I too understand why you have allowed this. Rest assured, I do not judge you harshly. I just hope you will understand my reasons. As Emily says, Fosta, best wishes, Jhon Marley.
The housekeeper
Housekeeper.
resigned. Seems something, or someone, troubled her greatly. Enough to break the long-standing family tradition tying her to this place. Looks like this is the Fordside family book, showing some of their
So
ancestors.
still Altric Forsyth. In each one of these is an astrologer, a romantic who saw the stars manifest for his loneliness in 1842. During the eclipse, he swore the diamond ring around the moon was the spirit of his wife Eleanor, who had just given birth. From that moment on, his telescope never ceased to aim the sun, seeking capture in an initial moment. Lady Eleanor. Sharp scale of her cheek, hands hardened by the iron, and made of baklava. I thought that was actually a food. Aimed the wearer of cinnamon cannons, her civil medical kit now stained with gunpowder and memory held not only wounded but the hidden truth behind the colonial's death. They say she swore to protect the secret and that the oath still lingers within these walls. Lord Cedric Forsyth, a man with promote noise and wandering soul, whose steps traced past where only blank maps had once lain. Cartographer to Queen Victoria. His life is to name the unnameable jungles, the swallowed expeditions, rivers that erased borders and villages whose names only he remembered. His globe, now cracked by time and salt of thousands of seas, bears between his radiance the scars of a man who preferred to get lost rather than return. Lady Isolde Forsyth, a pianist, with her hands and drowned heart after longing her beloved in the wreck of the SSF Murdain. Her notoriousness became unnamed requiems. Her final composition, Allergy in Blue, rests upon the ebony music stand in the library. Its notes sketch waves that never kissed the shore, and his paws echo the silence of a ring never given. Okay. So, these four statues, one, two, three, and four. So, she's the pianist. So she looks at the ebony. She's got the medical kit. Of course, we gotta turn her. So she sees her medical kit. Now, he was the man. Oh. Who awaited the stars. So he looks at his thing. And of course, the globe. So that leaves one person left. The old man. And each one's got a face. Just right. She may not be looking at her. And there it is. So we turn the statues to unlock a mysterious door. And now we walk into Madame's office.
This must have been some sort of private study for the Countess.
And of course, we're in her office. There's a letter. Lady Margaret said, I'm writing to you as the Lieutenant Official Award Super providing an update on your daughter LD's progress. It's a great pleasure to report her notable improvement. Emily now confines that she is no longer experiencing dark thoughts. Most importantly, the nightmares have subsided, and she has begun to communicate more incredibly with her fellow patients. Crucial step in her recovery. LD has also asked me to relay a request that she would like you to bring her amber necklace when you visit this Sunday. I will continue to keep you informed in her progress. Dr. Mulder, Chief Psychiatrist. Westland Asylum.
Elodie was committed to a psychiatric facility, but she supposedly recovered from whatever ailed her.
Let's see what we have here.
Her British passport. Lord Fordside was undoubtedly a man of the world. An old pocket watch. It probably belonged to Lord Fordside, Lady Margaret's husband. This looks like the key to the main hall. Could be my way into the heart of the house.
Which we need. And of course, the
Lady
retaining
Margaret
photo.
and a young woman. I suppose it's Elodie. They look happy. It was undoubtedly a better time.
Alrighty. Is there nothing more in the office? Just some photos. Paintings. Okay. We should go back this way. Of course,
A
the globe.
resting in a beautiful wooden stand.
unlocks the main hall, where a beautiful tree grows. An enormous tree in the heart of the mansion. The place is no ordinary house. That's lovely. That's supposed to actually talk here, but it doesn't. So that's one of the glitches here. Just to give you a little heads up. Now, we have to head up the stairs. To the art gallery here.
Layers of dried oil paint, left untouched for 20 years. A grand ship on the open sea. Looks like the last painting Elodie was working on was of a ship at sea. The whole gallery is filled with maritime references. A man with his back turned, watching a ship. This door appears to lead out to the back garden. Locked with a padlock.
What's
I'll
here?
need to find the key. Looks like some sort of clue.
Says trace the tree's journey from birth to decay. Oh.
Follow the path of the artist in a thoughtful display. Arrange the 4 stages and the door will obey. Unlock the path ahead.
Okay, I must confess. Never before has anyone requested something of this nature from me. I believe I am capable of the task, but I must inform you that it will require a significant sum. Certain parts will need to be respectfully crafted in the city, and I must first commission necessary plans. What you are asking for is a piece of intricate engineering. But rest assured there will be no more ingenious way to restrict access to certain areas of the house. If it pleases you, promote to delineate the spaces that follows. Private quarters, the guest quarters, kitchens, and servants' quarters. I provide a sample mechanism for Area C. In hearing your original concept, I would greatly appreciate a promote response, so I may proceed with ordering the remaining
Lady
mechanics.
Margaret took special care to secure the house, restricting access to certain areas.
Oh, it is locked. Alrighty then, so there's another key lock. Alrighty. So we can't go any further, so let's head back down. And of course that door shuts by itself. Lovely. Let's see if the key unlocks this door over here. It does. The dining room.
This looks like Elodie's diary. Let's see what her last entries reveal.
I'm absolutely over the moon. Walter has written to say he is coming. I met him at the Western Sanatorium, and we have grown so very close. He was there recovering from the trauma of a shipwreck, where he tragically lost his companions. By sheer luck, he was rescued, but not before spending an entire year on an island living amongst the natives. He truly is an adventurer.
A young woman screaming in the middle of the darkness.
Let's see if this light will help.
happy. Walter has finally arrived. I must admit, I am utterly captivated by him. I invited him to visit, and he gave me his word he wouldn't fail to come as soon as he was able to leave. And now he's finally here. I can scarcely contain my joy. It feels as though all the darkness has faded away.
The visitor.
They looked so in love. So happy. I wonder what became of Walter after Elodie died.
The trees. The paintings.
Looks like a commercial seaman's yearbook, listing ships and their crews. It's open to the pages under S.
Damn it, it's not here. It's simply not here.
Walter Brennan Stella Murr's vessel.
This must be the Countess's handwriting. What was she searching
looking
for?
something. Okay, all these little tree paintings move. Okay.
Locked, as expected. There's a metal engraving of a tree. Those poor souls. Tragedy seems to have cast a long shadow over this family.
Okay, so if we follow the paintings here, see if we can find them. Let's wander the room.
Some of these paintings are really dark and sinister.
So let's follow the stages of a tree. Okay, so somewhere there's the beginning of a tree. So, okay, so it's all got to be here. Here's the start of a tree, okay? And then we know it grows. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, so let's try this again. So that's the planting in the tree. And then we know it grows a little bigger, only for it to become large and then die. Or die off. And a door opens. How lovely. Looks like can't go that
A
way.
boarded up door. The access to the servants' quarter. Something These broken chairs. Someone must have hurled them to the ground with great force. Some of these tools have been bent, likely trampled over.
I'm gonna pick that up.
It looks like this vase was shattered. Not just dropped, but smashed with intent.
Can't go this way. So let's use the crowbar.
Looks like the crowbar is broken.
It was quite old.
A good way to motivate the staff.
Let's see what is here.
A backgammon board. One of the oldest board games. Miss Marva apparently knew her way around the tarot. What a dreadful spread. And what a chilling omen it revealed. Evil approaches. It will bring death, and lay ruin to the house and all who dwell within.
There could be legislation in the area, new security. Alrighty. We're gonna write down these codes. So area B, 34982. I wish I could tell you that all is well, and that I'm happier the Countess, the household Miss Newer, the housekeeper takes good care of me, and Margaret seems no more better. Her daughter, according to Miss Moore, fears some kind of relapse, and Mary's falling apart day by day. The worst of it, Mother, is not that man that dark. He lurks in the shadowy corners of the house when I am cleaning and carrying out my tasks, and throws himself at me. He is incredibly strong. His great hand seize me, and I feel completely helpless. And I am afraid to go to the lavatory. There is in the dim solitude I feel watched by something wicked, and a deep spectral breathing leaves me frozen with fear. Only Miss Miro has listened to me and believes she too understands that this man is great danger, or that will sooner or later bring about a tragedy. She and I are exhausted. Yours effectively.
A doll pierced with an awl. A warning? The young maid was an avid fan of actor Valentin Rudolph. What a collection of posters from his films. No doubt, this is the cook's room. Lady Margaret, after the death of her daughter, dismissed the staff and left the mansion. A pair of blood-stained scissors stuck in the sink basin. Deeply unsettling. Is there someone else in the house? devil is that man? He had a knife. I'm completely in the dark here. I don't think he saw me.
Oh yes, we still roaming out. Try this door first with the code. 34 9 8 2. Ah, how many upstairs?
Another boarded up door. The question is, was it sealed before the murder? And why? This must be Walter Brandon's room. An empty bottle. The diary of Walter Brandon. Perhaps it holds some clues about who he was. A compass and a sextant. Tools of a sailor.
I am terrified that man has found me. I fear something dreadful is about to happen. Tonight as I awoke, I saw him, standing at the foot of my bed. I could not make out his face, but his knife. The gleam of its blade shone in the darkness. I sprang up suddenly, determined to confront this stranger. Grabbing the heavy candlestick from the nightstand, I hurled it with all my strength. He vanished into the dark.
What on earth happened? Did Walter also see the mysterious man with the knife? It's absurd. This occurred 20 years ago. Surely that man can't still be lurking about. Can he?
We're just gonna interact with these green.
Coming here was a grave mistake. He has followed me, watching and lurking in dark corners, waiting to surprise me. I dare not tell Elodie. She would think the one thing I dread most for her to believe. I see him again from the window, watching me. His long hair and beard obscure his face, and he still holds that knife. He means to kill me. I
Who's
am
that
losing
right?
my faculties. It is best I return to the ship. Everyone seems to be
A model ship. Mr. Brandon must have felt a deep yearning for the sea. The last entry in the diary, dated the very night of the murder.
My beloved Elodie, why can you not believe this poor sailor who only wishes to love you? I have left everything behind. My ship, the sea, all my world, just to be by your side as you asked me to. Damn it. I can hear the man with the knife coming up the stairs from the hall. I need to hide.
Walter was terrified. What in the devil was happening here? It seems this trunk was all Walter owned. I should take a look at it. A photograph of Elodie. Seems I'm not the only one with a fondness for hats. Looks like the key to the back garden. I better head back to the staircase gallery. Pretty sure I saw a door to the outside there.
Can't really see up here. Back to the gallery. And we are now
The
outside.
killer likely fled through the rear door of the house. A filthy coat, soaked in some kind of blackened, hardened liquid. It's clear that the man who killed Elodie discarded. This ought to do the trick for that boarded-up room upstairs, just by Walter Brandon's room.
So we found the bloody coat, the shoes,
Here's the missing kitchen knife,
the missing kissing.
undoubtedly the murder weapon. Despite his injuries, the killer rid himself of anything that might incriminate him before fleeing the scene. The boots, the coat, even the knife. It's a chilling thought, but those very items remind me of the figure seen lurking near the manor. The same figure Walter Brandon spoke of at that old fountain in the garden. Now little more than a basin of stagnant water. One can still make out the faint impressions of bloodied hands. It seems almost certain the killer stopped here, in a hurried attempt to wash away some of the blood spattered across his body. The gate still bears the macabre traces of that old tragedy, like a silent witness, pointing to the path taken by that murderous beast as he fled.
Alrighty. Head back up. Since 3 years since his disappearance, I still catch myself entering the room expecting to find him there, exhausted yet sleepless, laboring without pause, shadowy for days on end without food or rest, carving his final dreadful and chilling masterpiece with these eyes, made haunted seem eyes that seem to affect every foresight here without expectation. The very same enigmatic, sorrowful gaze I found myself recognizing more and more in Ellie's face with each passing day. Day I saw her secretly 3 years old, created her first drawing. I knew that she too was lost, a curse that has wrenched inheritance, so stepped into misfortune. Tomorrow I shall take Ellie to the Sandrium with the therapy in a controlled environment. Perhaps then she might begin to improve. I shall not allow the Forsyte legacy to take Ellie from me. Oh, and there was a code. I wonder if this is door A. Alrighty then. And keep the codes. What does this reveal?
Unlabeled liquor bottles. The damp and A sharpening wheel. Lord Fordside likely crafted his own chisels. Lord Fordside was a gifted artist, no doubt, but his work betrayed a dark and tormented soul. This unfinished fallen angel stirs in me a curious sense of unease, almost repulsion.
Alright. Over to the other room. So it says 2, 3, 7, 4, 1. Did I write it down wrong? I shall now allow the for sale ladies to take LD. Oh, 2, 5, 7. For 1. Okay. Back across the hall. There we go.
The door is locked. I'll need to find the key. Him again. Who the bloody hell are you? This room looks like it belongs to a woman. Lady Margaret, perhaps? Seems Lady Margaret was reading in the chair that evening. It's a damn fine bottle of wine. No one in their right mind would open a vintage like this and leave it abandoned, unless something rather urgent interrupted the...
This is a nightmare. I am deeply concerned for Elodie. The housekeeper has long been warning me about Walter. I have made some inquiries, and nothing is as it seems. Elodie remains blissfully happy with him in the house. I am at my wit's end. Since her return from the sanatorium, she has been positively radiant, a true beacon of light. They go out together and seem to have a splendid time. He appears very close to her. This is in stark contrast to the picture painted by the housekeeper, which is a complete contradiction. Last night I heard him scream. He seemed to be in the throes of a panic attack. I approached on tiptoe to the guest quarters, and then suddenly I was struck with terror. An insane, maniacal laughter echoed through the night. It did not sound like him. The following morning, Walter and Elodie went out to sail on the pond. Everything appeared normal, and he was the most charming he has ever been.
Something made of glass has shattered here.
Oh my God, what is that noise? It's coming from Elodie's room.
The fireplace tools, all knocked over on the floor. And unless my eyes deceive me, The poker appears to be missing.
Oh my god, Elodie!
Lady Margaret, quite agitated, grabbed the fireplace poker and rushed toward Elodie's room. The bed is made. The Countess hadn't yet gone to bed on the night of the murder. A key. Likely the one to Elodie's room. Lady Margaret lied to me. She hadn't taken any sleeping draught that night. She could have heard the attack and rushed to see what was happening. Why did she hide this from me? The more I investigate, the more convoluted it all seems. I should head to Elodie's room to search for answers. There was a struggle here, clear as day. Not a clean break-in. The killer wasn't subtle. A rag doll, tossed on the floor. I'd wager it used to sit neatly on the bed. Either it was knocked over in the scuffle, or perhaps Elodie dropped it herself in a pool of dried blood. There's no doubt now. This was the scene of the crime. Judging by the sheer brutality of the crime, we can almost certainly conclude the killer was a man of considerable build. The blood-stained coat, found alongside the greenhouse knife, suggests that the mysterious figure seen loitering nearby may, in fact, be the very same individual who committed the murder. They say the killer always returns to the scene of the crime. But 20 years have passed. Why now? Let's attempt to reconstruct the events, just as they might have unfolded that night. A teacup on the bedside table. Elodie must have lain down that night, perhaps already drifting to sleep. The door's lock, completely broken, indicates someone forced their way into the room, likely startling Elodie awake. Elodie tried to flee, but the killer cornered her near the vanity. She lost her balance and fell, breaking the dresser and chair. Photograph of Elodie Fordside and Walter Brandon. If my memory serves me right, looks like it was taken at Westland Asylum. The killer dragged her to the bed against her will. In the struggle, one of the vases fell from the mantelpiece. On the bed, the killer stabbed her mercilessly, again and again, staining the sheets with blood. That's when Lady Margaret arrived, striking the killer with the fireplace poker, knocking him away from Elodie. Wounded, the killer fled the scene, but it was already too late. Elodie was already dead.
And that was chapter 1, everyone.
The old Bloomsbury mansion. It choked my thoughts. It had that kind of sadness that seeps into your bones like old damp, and that sudden abandonment, so clear before my eyes, looked like a sinister time capsule. One thing was certain. My next move was to dig up answers about the man with the knife, and about Walter Brandon, the sailor from Westland Asylum, an old, forgotten sanatorium that, 20 years ago, was the scene of a meeting between Elodie Fordside and that Brandon fellow.
Alrighty. Bloomsbury Manor complete. Let's head to
It was
the
an
asylum.
ungodly hour when my battered car crept along the winding, shadowed road leading to Westland Asylum. But what I found upon arrival was disquieting. The building, forsaken for more than a decade, remained illuminated. Was it some ancient emergency system defying the passage of time? Or was someone awaiting my arrival?
Alrighty. We're here at the asylum. Where Miss Elodie and Mr. Westmoreland met. Sip of a drink to continue. Now this is where it gets a little glitchy.
The front door. Sealed shut.
Hmm.
As expected. Nothing's ever straightforward, is it? I'll have to find another way in.
Here it goes, a little glitchy. You have to be in the right spot for everything kind of to see, which is also, you kind of gotta turn certain directions. Hmm. Broken window. See? Kind of gotta back up or go forward. This is where most of the glitching starts.
Bloody hell. It's pitch black in here. Looks like I've stumbled into what could be the kitchen. Impossible. Locked as well.
Okay. Clear the way.
Damn it. The lantern. It's broken. I'll have to manage without it for now.
Hmm. Okay. Now that we're in the kitchen,
The cord fell out again.
so plug it back in. Hold on, everyone. What game you playing? Jhon Marley. I'm recording. And a few. Smoke my cigarette first. Yeah, go. Alrighty, everyone.
A bloody handprint. Someone injured must have leaned against this wall.
That's over light.
The girl? How is the girl?
You mean Miss Elodie Fortside? Don't worry, that bloke didn't lay a finger on her. But you took quite a knock. This is going to smart.
The bloat. Okay. The bloat.
Westland Asylum was a top place in its good old days.
Westland Asylum, place of hope and healing. Under the direction of Dr. Muller with the distinguished consultation of Dr. Sheridan. Expert in modern therapeutic methods. Here we go, everyone. Compassion, understanding, and advanced techniques of mental health care, and making the start of recovery. Dr. Fuller's guidance into her progress therapy insights, providing effective treatments for nervous ailments, melancholia, hysteria, and other mental disorders. Services include restorative rest cures, modern electrotherapy, applications, talk therapy, and moral treatment. Person occupied activities for strict human care. You gotta turn that down because it's going over my mic. Sorry, don't own the right to say anything. Westland Asylum stands at the forest of advancement, merging experience and innovation while treating each patient dignity and hope. Not right now. For administrative requirements, Westland Asylum Administration's Office, Ferland Lane, Westland County.
May 1922. This letter was written half a year before Elodie's murder. It's possible she was still a patient here at the time.
Review the signaling violence indicating with this instrument sentence arrival patient B03. The undersigned feel it in our duty to express the following concerns on behalf of the Sanctuary support staff. Patient B03 requires specialized care and strict oversight, necessitating intimate confidence in the isolation cell. Access to shared public spaces should be allowed only under supervision to attendants equipped to tranquilizing injectables. The incidences have underscored grave deficiencies in institution security. Patient was under a high degree of aggression. We strongly urge the hospital administration's implemented service. Sorry, everyone. I'm going to go into mute mode. You're going to have to read yourself from further on.
The nurses were genuinely concerned about the aggression of patient B03. This file cabinet is now empty. It probably held all the records of the inpatients.
We must formalize the admission of Miss Elodie Fortside. I have her file here.
That girl? What do you think of her?
I don't quite know. She seems a good girl. I do hope she recovers soon.
I know what Dr. Mulder thinks of her.
Oh, don't be wicked.
You cannot tell me you haven't noticed. Have you seen the way he looks at her?
Shh, hush now. Someone's coming.
It seems the nurses were gossiping about a certain Dr. Mulder, who appeared to be especially taken with Elodie. I need to find Dr. Sheridan's office. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Mr. Morley, is that you?
Lady Margaret?
Mr. Morley, I'm so relieved to hear your voice. I've been trying to reach your office, but I couldn't get through to anyone.
It's awfully late at night, Lady Margaret. How on earth did you know I was at Westland Asylum?
Well, I was already in bed, truth be told, but there was something on my mind. A vital detail I'd forgotten to mention. I called your office, searched for you at the mansion, and when I couldn't find you there, I assumed you might be investigating at the asylum.
I see. Very resourceful of you. Now tell me, what is this detail of such importance?
Oh, yes, of course. I almost forgot. You see, the truth is, I'm afraid that you're not alone.
What the devil does that mean? Hello? Lady Margaret? Is someone there? Damn it. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Internal report. Patient
shivers. I need to hide. Quickly. I can't hear it. Could it be gone? A cigarette case, with a bit of tobacco still inside. Clean water, an apple, a bit of bread, a maintenance uniform. Oddly well prepared. Not a speck of dust on it. Looks like someone's been coming through here. Perhaps this is what Lady Margaret meant in her call. Or was she trying to warn me about something else? Here it is. Dr. Sheridan's office. This is where I'll find Elodie and Walter's records. Elodie's record. Patient at the sanatorium. Nothing of interest here. Wait. In the photo, Dr. Sheddenand in the center, and right next to him, it's him. The man with the knife. That wild mane, that unkempt beard, it's unmistakable. But what's he doing here? And he's holding a book. I need to get to the library. What was that noise? Sounds like something just came crashing down.
Patient recording, Elodie Fordside, February 3rd, 1922. Daily record number 23. Let us begin. How are you feeling today, Miss Fordside?
I feel well.
Elodie, we have discussed this before. If you do not tell me how you truly feel, we will make no progress.
I feel a little sad, perhaps. I am alone here. I miss my mother and having company. So much time with nothing to do makes me think of things I do not wish to think of.
I see. Listen, Elodie. I believe you are looking at this the wrong way. If, instead of dwelling on what you call dark thoughts, you were to focus on possibilities, your outlook would change entirely. A young, beautiful woman such as yourself should look to the future with excitement. Think of all the adventures that lie ahead. Your family, your career as a painter. Perhaps even finding a man. A man of good standing. One who could protect you from your demons.
A man?
Tell me, Elodie, is there no man who stirs your heart?
What in God's name do you think you're doing?
Miss Fordside, you may go. We shall continue later.
Very well.
Have you lost your mind? Where is your professionalism?
Do not presume to judge my methods with your oh-so-righteous reading therapy.
Methods? The entire hospital is whispering about you. She is a patient, Dr. Mulder, and she is mentally unwell.
Listen, Ferdinand. Stay out of my affairs, and I shall stay out of yours. Or have you forgotten which one of us is the director of this institution?
Do as you please. But if I ever witness such a scene again, I will not remain silent.
Damn fool.
The Adventures of Walter Brandon, the intrepid captain of the Stella Maris, braving the treacherous South Seas. What in the devil does this mean? metal screen is positioned like the sail of a ship.
This must be the key to the attic. Let's see where it leads.
Stella Maris. That was the name of the ship captained by Walter Brandon. A ship's old helm, tied to the bed, as if it were the quarterdeck of a vessel. This room is the room of a madman. The entire space is arranged as if it were the deck of a ship. Did that man truly come to believe he was a character in an adventure book? Their secret hideaway. An alarm clock. Most likely, they used it to slip back to the second floor before anyone noticed they were gone. For a while, they managed to keep their affair in the shadows, far from the eyes of doctors and nurses. Hair on the chair, strands on the floor. This is where the transformation took place. A pair of scissors and a comb. Elodie put in real effort to make him fit the mold of her ideal hero. She remade patient 1365 in the image of her most secret longings. Looks like Elodie found herself at powerful drugs for depression. Anxiolytics. The girl improved, but it seems the doctors were baffled by her mind. Elodie found painting, and with it, a way to spill the shadows that crawled through her mind. room's been decorated to resemble some sort of... This letter. At the very least, it's highly inappropriate. A draft letter. Scratched out and full of corrections. She goaded him into leaving the sanatorium. That man was desperately ill. But Elodie's selfishness outweighed what little sense she had. She pushed him too far. If I pieced this together correctly, that Walter was never really Walter at all. There was another personality. She called it the Shadow, a dominant, dangerous force that surfaced again and again in his life. The threads are beginning to unravel, but I need to see this through. What truly happened to Walter Brandon?
Patient number 1365 returns after an absence of 4 months. He's in a state of utter disorientation, perspiration pouring off him, and good heavens, there's a severe wound to the skull. His clothes and hands are covered in blood, and it doesn't appear to be his own. He cannot recall his name, nor anything that's happened during these past months. Seems to have found his way back here more by some strange instinct than by memory itself. The personality once known as Walter has vanished entirely, as has the entity we refer to as the Shadow, though given his nature, I cannot say with certainty it isn't still lurking beneath the surface. We have treated cases of dissociative identity before, but never one such as this. His appearance, his voice, even his build and weight change quite drastically. Now he looks frail, gaunt, empty, as though there's nothing inside, as though he were but an empty shell, waiting to be occupied. His condition calls for far stricter supervision. This institution is no longer equipped to care for him.
take him under his care. As I near the end of my tenure as director, I must see this case brought to a decisive close. The blood upon his hands, the emptiness in his eyes, all point to an act of the gravest kind. One his mind appears to have erased entirely. God help us, if the shadow should ever wake again.
So it seems Walter came back to the sanatorium of his own accord, though he was utterly incapable of recalling what he'd done. They moved him to St. Dymphna's Hospital. Could he still be there after 20 years? What became of him? I'll have to follow this lead. That man returned to the new sanatorium, remembering practically nothing. Maybe it was the wound Lady Margaret left him. Or maybe his mind shattered and never came back after what happened that night. As for me, I was hired to find the one who killed Elodie Fordside, and my intuition told me they were still there, in the depths of St. Dymphna. I sensed that the end of the road was waiting for me in that place. Can't very well saunter in through the front door as if nothing's amiss. I'll need to find another way in. It's locked. It's locked. The night shift nurses are behind this door. I need to find another way into the hallway to the rooms. case of the red shoes. What the devil does this mean? Lady Margaret.
That fateful night, I was startled by the noise, those wretched cries of agony from dear Elodie. I rushed to her chambers, and there you stood, stained with the blood of the one soul I cherished above all others in this world. The housekeeper had warned me, but I turned a deaf ear. Elodie was finally happy, even amidst your incessant bouts of volatility. Yet, with the passage of time, your demeanour darkened. More and more frequently, that sinister presence lurking within you began to surface, each appearance more violent than the last. Elodie no longer gazed upon you with the starry-eyed affection of a smitten young woman. The atmosphere in this house grew suffocating, fraught with an unbearable tension. That very afternoon I spoke with her. She had resolved to end your engagement. You seemed, or so I dared hope, to have accepted it with grace. But that night, that very night, you ended her life in the most savage manner imaginable. I threw myself upon Elodie, desperate to save her. But alas, it was far too late. Months later, I learned you had returned voluntarily to the sanatorium. I sought answers and immersed myself in understanding the afflictions that plagued you. Dissociative identity disorder, they called it. A condition in which one might host multiple identities, each vying for dominion over the body. But the man confined in that bleak institution was not the shadow, not the fiend who had stolen my daughter. No, he was but the shell, the hapless vessel. And I yearned to find the true culprit, not the facade, the murderer himself. Thus I devised my plan. I came to visit you, and just as Elodie had done, I crafted a new role for you, a new identity to inhabit. I brought books, personal artifacts, penned letters as Penny. I leased an office and prepared every detail meticulously, down to the smallest thread, for your return as Jhon Marley. Everything had to be flawless. And why, you may ask? To make you remember, to awaken the shadow, to summon forth the murderer from the abyss of your fractured mind. Jhon Marley is a good man. Walter Brandon was a spirited young sailor, brimming with love for Elodie. But the shadow was a merciless, unrepentant killer. I wanted to destroy the murderer who had stolen my daughter. But I could never bring myself to harm an innocent man. My obsession, my singular purpose, was to awaken the shadow.
And there you have it, everyone. The story of the last case on Jhon Marley. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you enjoy this game and have a great one.